What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. I'm Shannon Tynes, filling in for Ryan Williams. Today, Daniel's not able to join us either, but we got Chris Abacon here. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be here.
That's what's up, man. So we holding it down, just the two of us. We got 2 weeks in a row, right? We got just two people, so we're gonna hold it down. We're gonna make it work for y'all, right? We still come through for y'all because we know y'all love it, right? And we love doing it for y'all, you know what I mean? But let's go ahead and get on to this discussion, man. So this article actually comes from TechCrunch.com, right? By Paul Sawers. And the title of this one was UK seeks collaboration for security research lab to counter Russia. And they had this in quotes, new AI arms race, right? And like they have it in quotes for the article, and it is not untrue, right? So like we are definitely in an AI arms race, right? Because you have people out there that are like, no, AI can be used for good, right? So like anything that can be used for good, what do you think is going to happen? It can be used for bad, right? So the UK is very good about being forward leaning when it comes to things like this, right? We always talk about how they're good when it comes to like data security and things of that nature and what you have being put out there into the world. But the UK government, they've launched numerous funding initiatives in the past for cybersecurity projects, right? Like, this is what they do. AI-fueled nation-state attacks, they're on the rise, right? So they're the driving force behind doing all of this, right? So the Laboratory for AI Security Research, LASER, that's a cool name, LASR, will be funded initially with 8.22 million, which is 8.22 million pounds, right? Or is that euro, pounds, whatever that is?
It's pounds, yeah.
Pounds, yeah. Which is $10.3 million, right? And that's from the government itself, right? So it's developing a catalytic model, is what you call it, and they hope to see other industries contribute to the pot, right? And they will, right? Because here's the thing: everyone is going to get to the point where AI is just unavoidable, right? Like we're fastly coming up on this, right? Like it's coming to a point where it's like AI will definitely be one of those things where everybody is going to be using it, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Like it's just one of those things where it's neat. Like you got Apple leaning hard into this, right? With their iOS 18.2, I think is what it is the one that's supposed to like really utilize AI in their phones. And like you can bet every successive year that a phone comes out, you're going to get more from AI that's going to be used for this. But the ultimate purpose of this is to protect the UK and its allies against new threats, is what they said, right? So they're doing this to include partnerships with various government departments, right? So the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office, Government Communications Headquarters, the Alan Turing Institute, the AI Safety Institute, right? So the UK is leaning into this really hard, right? Which I think is a good thing, right? So there's a lot of cyber attacks out there right now that are using AI, right? We talk about it every week. We talk about it, right? To where it seems like AI is involved in something. Russia is big on it. China is getting big on it. North Korea is not too far behind, where they're going to be doing more of the AI. I guess they're kind of there already, right? Because we had the whole, credential stealing and whatnot that they were using to get people to get those jobs, right, to fund their missile program. So this is going to be a very, very big thing in the future that the UK is really forward leaning into, and they're putting money behind it, right? And like this is just an initial investment, like I said, initial investment of $2 million, right, or what it was, 8.3 million pounds, 8.22 million pounds, 10.3 million US dollars, right? So the government's forward leaning, and I love to see it, right? But Chris, what's your thoughts?
My first thoughts were AI proliferation, right? Arms race. Me, the first thing is, how is AI even possible, right? And what it is, it's data centers. It's all these NVIDIA graphics cards and processors and servers all working together to run these complex models. I think it's through like GPUs and things like that, right? So all these appliances, we have data centers here in the US, obviously. We've got them, everywhere, especially like Northern Virginia, areas of Arizona, California, areas that are very safe, right, from natural disaster, things like that. The UK itself is obviously the size. I think it's a little bit bigger than the size of a little bit bigger than New Jersey, or might be the size of might be a little bit bigger than that. But it's actually maybe a lot bigger than that. Anyway, my geography is not where it needs to be right now, but
the UK is multiple countries, right?
So yes, that's correct. I'm thinking England, Wales, Scotland, etc.
Yeah. Yep.
but they don't have as much, land, or rather, I'm not sure of their current AI infrastructure, right? I don't know how many data centers they're hosting in the UK, right? Or with the partners. This research, I believe, is one driving perhaps the utilization of defensive capabilities within AI rather than maybe proliferating data centers, right? At within the United Kingdom. But for example, a big technology that's come out in recent years, alongside of something called security and incident and event management, is SOAR, automated detected and response. So, orchestrated automation and response, right? So it's essentially an automated process. Once an appliance detects something in your network, it proceeds to take AI-based action on mitigating a specific risk or a specific event that's happening within your network, right? Maybe it could, shut down a port for you within your network, or segment that specific, VLAN off your network. I don't know. There's a lot that they can do, but there's probably research on how that is being done on the offensive as well as the defensive capabilities, right? So the research could be two pronged, where it's like, hey, you need to know how to attack before we can defend. Like, we need to know where these attacks are coming from. So I think it's a great initiative that the UK is putting this money in. I could definitely see it. You know, I could definitely see it expanding in their catalytic model, where others within the UK, private organizations within the UK, are putting forth some of their own investment in addition to this research, right? So it's kind of cool to see, great minds, security researchers come together and say, hey, look, this is what's going on now, right? They're going to be probably publishing papers. They're probably going to be, building experimental tools. It's going to be awesome, right? It's going to be awesome. Right? In our previous podcast, we've discussed, just the increase of attacks in public service or on hospitals. How could AI help a hospital which doesn't have like a full staff of cybersecurity professionals, right? Those are the kind of things that I think that this research is going to go towards, assisting those that necessarily can't. That small clinic, right? How's that clinic going to defend itself if their ISP is down or they're compromised, right? You got people trying to get prescriptions and they got ransomware on theirs. How are they going to respond to that kind of threat? So I think it's a pretty cool initiative, and I think maybe I think the article stated that they started going for this at a NATO conference, right? Us guys with military exercises, we've done a lot of collaboration with other militaries, right? Exercises and such. And they particularly highlight the Five Eyes countries. So Five Eyes, for you guys that don't know, are Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, and the US. Essentially the English-speaking, primary countries, right? The Five Eyes. Like-minded partners, collaboration with that at the security level or information level that we can, right? I think that's great. Fostering that kind of partnership throughout the world is just outstanding.
And with the Five Eyes, right? Like, it's not like we haven't done stuff like in partnership already when it comes to stuff like this, right? Like, we talk about some of those joint task forces, right? You have your New Zealand's, you have your
Yeah
there, so it's not new to them anyway. But to touch a little bit more on the sword thing you were talking about, right? So like, you have to, I don't want to say you have to be careful, but you definitely have to be careful, right? Because when you're allowing AI to make like tweaks for you when it comes to cybersecurity, you got to be careful, because some of the stuff that is legitimate can be perceived as a threat, right? Especially when it comes to like your defenses, right? Your antivirus and things of that nature. You got to be careful. You got to have eyes on it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you got to make monitoring appropriately to where it's like, hey, no, that was a legitimate action. Let's go ahead and allow that. And then it learns. And this is how it learns, right? It's like, okay, you're telling me if I see this again, this is good, I'm going to allow it, right? So it is definitely the way forward, because like I said, the advent of AI it's coming hard and heavy, man. So like, we got to get ahead of the game, and the UK is doing it right now, right? And there's probably some stuff in the US that we're doing along the same lines. I know we've talked about, we've done articles where we talk about defenses and different actions to take against AI, right? Like, it's something that the current administration, the outgoing administration, has tried to get ahead of, but it is here. Like I said, like every iteration of iPhone that comes out, you're going to get more and more capability just in the palm of your hand. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be so easy to utilize when it comes to AI. So it's out there, folks. There's no sense in trying to avoid it. You got to embrace it. Get smart on it so that you know what is out there, right? Whether it be to help you or to harm you, right? You just gotta be in the know, right? And the time is coming, right? The time is coming to where this information is going to be more widespread to people. Yes, you're getting it from one of the best sources right here from the other side of the firewall, right? But like it will start coming more to be more what am I trying to say here? Like widespread and common, right? You're going to see it on the major news networks even more, right? It's just going to be one of those things. It's going to be too unavoidable to not see it and not defend against it. But, yeah, but no, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the thing is, it's a good thing. Like I said, the UK is very forward leaning. I'd like to see the United States start going down this path a little bit more too. Like I said, I know we've talked. They've done stuff about defense against AI, but start putting the money into it like these guys are doing. And this is an ever so slight amount, right? Like, so this is one of those things where the UK government has this, right? Like all those countries can afford to spend $10.2 million or whatever it was, right?
Right.
Just to see, but we got to get on this train, folks. It's you either get on the train or get off the tracks and go live out in the woods somewhere because it's coming hard. But
Yep.
yeah. But all right, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So check out all the websites. You go by the podcast name, The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW. Ask a CISSP is also another one that's in the realm here, or visit ramcyber.io, right? It's a landing page right now. It doesn't really have much on it, but it's coming. All right. You're gonna see more on there, right? So you can find Ryan on about all of the social media platforms. He goes by Ry Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. Daniel can be found on LinkedIn under his name, Daniel Acevedo. And Chris, where can they find you at, man?
You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Chris Abacon. Last name is spelled Abacon.
That's how they're going to find you.
That's all right.
Stay safe, stay secure.